And today is the spring equinox, and it is the day in which the earth is in a perfect balance because it's not leaning all Beth. It's not leaning towards the sun or away from it. It's like in a perfect balance. And that was not representational of my truth earlier today. So this morning I hosted our first Wild Dream Journal Club live journaling session called Wild Dream Scripting for the spring equinox. And it was open to both Wild Dream Journal Club members and also the public. And one of the things that I had promised folks who signed up was that if they couldn't make it live, there was going to be a replay. And the actual live went so well. We had an amazing time. We journaled, I pulled cards for the folks that were there, like a guiding spring equinox card, and gave them personalized journal prompts. It just felt so good to be in community on this day. And I was so excited. Hola, Jessica. I was so excited to share the replay with everybody who had signed up for it. But guess what I didn't do? Me. I forgot to hit record. I was like, never in my creative, like, guide, mentor, teacher life have I ever forgotten to hit record. I forgot to hit record. So that whole experience, the beauty and the bounty and the downloads and the music and all the things we did together is not on replay, not recorded. And I felt so bad because, I'm really big on delivering on the things that I promise. And so I sent an email out to the folks that registered. There were about 25 folks. And I sent an email to them and I said, I'm so sorry. And this never happens, but it happened. So I am going to create for them a audio version. It's not going to be as great as, being in divine circle and being in the present or in the replay, but I feel like there's still potency and magic in doing the journal prompts in the way that I laid them out. Like it was a whole experience, moving from the self to the wild dreams to the power. And I'm going to include the readings that I did and for them for the replay. So I'm feeling a little bit better that I was able to, offer that to them. I was able to offer an alternative because I really hate the fact that I forgot to hit record. But that brought up this notion of like, mistakes, creative mistakes, things are going to happen, and Mercury retrograde is going to happen, life, dogs, family, things are going to happen that don't allow us to fulfill whatever commitment that we have said we were going to do, whether that is a replay for a workshop or whatever it is. And I feel that the responsible thing for us to do as creatives who, either want to make a living being, doing creative work, or we just want to do what we love, right? We just want to write or create or do what fills our soul up as our work, right? In exchange, monetary exchange. And I feel like it's important for us to find ways to honor or make up for the things that we said we were going to do but couldn't do because of not hitting record, or I don't know, forgetting a date or whatever it is. Finding a way that shows people, especially if they're in your creative orbit, like that you care, like you actually give a fuck. It's so easy for people who are in a small business or have a small business to just go, oh, well, fuck it, but that, they're human beings and you made a promise, and spirit is always listening and the universe is always listening. And so finding a way to honor our commitments however small, even if it's not the exact same thing, feels really, really important for building our self-trust, for building our creative self-trust, and building trust with like the people that we want to connect to and the people that, we want to have in our orbit for a really, really long time, and building trust with the universe, saying, I know I fucked up, I forgot to hit record, but you know what? I'm going to do something that will hopefully won't replace it, but will fill in the gap and the void of the promise that I had originally made. So the invitation is whenever you're feeling like we're human. We're not going to fully 100% always be able to honor our commitments, but it's really how quickly and how with heart and our soul we offer up a alternative, or offer up and I'm sorry, or offer up something else in exchange for the breaking the promise that you made. So I wanted to share that with you. So that's the invitation, is if it ever happens, to find a way to kind of make up for it. I also want to share with you, I had a really good time last night at Violent Femmes. It was so amazing. They were so amazing. It was a pretty short concert. They didn't have an opening act, but I was so close, and it was so like I could feel the instruments like reverberating off my body. It was so amazing. And I cried. Of course I did. And I cried. It was so good. I had so much fun, and I almost didn't go. Yeah, I almost didn't go because I was like, I have so much to do, and I have so many promises that I need to deliver on the spring equinox. But I made myself go. I made myself go because I needed it. I had done a lot of client work earlier that day. I had done a tarot reading face to face. I had worked wrapping up the Wild Dream Grimoire rebrand and sent it out to the people who purchased it. Like, I'd done a lot of work, and I just really needed that time. And I'm so glad I did. My wife and I, as we were driving out there, she was like, Brandy, if you wouldn't have gone, you would have regretted not going. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, I would have regretted it. And I feel like there's a lesson in that as well. Like, we often talk ourselves out of the things that we need the most, especially if it's related to self-care, especially if it's related to play, especially if it's not related to work or the thing we're trying to bring into being, like the project or whatever. But it's even more important when we're in the thick of a busy week or a busy creative project, whatever it is. It's even more important then to take those moments of levity and fun and joy, like, to take those moments and give yourself those moments and take them seriously. And I'm still learning that lesson because I really almost didn't go, and I'm so glad I went. And maybe that's a second invitation, the spring equinox, this whole new seasonal cycle. Maybe you give yourself a little bit more of the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that bring a new life to you, that make you feel alive. And it's a beautiful time for that, spring. Everything's being sprung. So that's all I have for you today, friends. I love you all so, so much. And I will see you tomorrow in Lakesh. Bye.